It's a beautiful morning here at Truly Tropical, and we are in flowering season. We have mango flowers on like half of the 15-gallon trees and most of the 25-gallon trees. And in other places, 7-gallon trees are flowering and 3-gallon trees. So definitely the weather has been in our favor as far as inspiring these trees to start flowering. But a lot of people have been wondering, how's it looking in the grove? Since it's such a beautiful morning, it seems like a great time to take a look around the grove. So this morning I thought I would just walk through the northeast part of the grove and show you what flowers and possibly small fruit are developing on those trees. Right here, this is a lot of St. Maui. We have the fairly fresh panicles and some that have been out here for a while and probably are setting some fruit. Not really easy to see it on that one, but I have faith that that's going to be setting fruit soon. Next one in the row, this is Carrie, and Carrie is doing nothing at the moment. I'm pretty darn sure it's going to start producing flowers soon, but not so far. This is Duncan, and we see a few flowers emerging here. There, down here. Definitely has a lot more flowering to do though. This is Namdok Mai, and we've got flowers, quite a few flowers. Still some to come, but quite a few flowers. And oh my goodness, look at this. This is Pineapple Pleasure. It is making a spectacle of itself. Just gorgeous. This is fun. This is Rosa, of course, loaded with flowers, and we've got this whole area here that has young fruit. So possibly we'll get some fruit in March from this. I'm not really sure, but it's looking good for at least a few early fruit. We're going to take a slight detour over here. This is up on the mound. And this tree is the top half is fruit cocktail, and the bottom half is Monte or Monticello, and flowers on both parts of the tree. Looks like it could be a good season. So this tree is Malika, and just nada, nothing there. This tree is Bailey's Marvel, and we cut it back severely last season, or after last season, and so it's rebounding, but since it's still in the growth phase, no flowers. Well, here are some flowers. This is fun. This is actually a tree. I can't remember what variety it is. We'll find out when the fruit forms, I guess. That's one of the things that I keep meaning to do, is mark every tree with the varietal name. This one will be marked as soon as we know it. The other trees in this area are just experimental trees. I've grafted a bunch of scions from seedlings on those trees, so no surprise that those are not flowering yet. And then right here is one of our turpentine trees, and especially on the top of the tree, down on a lot of areas actually, lots of flowers. So lots of turpentine mango, also known as common mango and stringy mango, depending on where you're from. I'm sure there's a lot of other names, but those are the ones I know. So this is one of our lemon meringue trees. You can see some flowers there on the top, but a lot of the tree is not yet flowering. This is Beverly, and very nice late season mango. Got just a few flowers here and there on this tree at the moment. Here's another cherry tree, and also late to the party. I don't see any flowers on it. So this is sweet tart, and we have some flowers here and there. For some reason, it really wanted to flower right here. It has two different panicles on this rather small and pathetic branch, but hopefully it's enough to support those fruit or eventual fruit. And here's an interesting tree. Got actually three things going on. One of them is that this actually is a seedling here, and it's a seedling of Van Dyke. And so this big tree used to be completely Van Dyke, but I've top worked most of the original Van Dyke tree to creme brulee. And so these flowers here are creme brulee flowers. And it looks pretty darn good. We've got a lot of new bloom, and then as I mentioned in a previous video, we had older bloom over here, and it looks like we have only one fruit that has been produced by the older bloom. A lot of the bloom just apparently just died, but there were at least 4 panicles, as I recall, probably more than that. So creme brulee looking good. Here's a tree that I fairly recently top worked, and obviously I need to work on making this look more normal. It just had a lot of young growth that was heavy, so it pulled the whole branch down. But we do have a few flowers here. And this is Super Alfonso, so hopefully we'll get some Super Alfonso fruit so that people can taste it and realize it's a really great fruit. And then here we have Venus. And Venus, well, almost everything's Venus, I should say. Grafted a lot of this to Venus, but this branch right here is Zill. So the original Zill mango, which is a really nice mango, fairly small but very tasty. Has an orange flavor. Just lots of nice bloom. In this row, we have quite a few glen trees. So this is one of those glens, and flowers emerging here. Not completely covered yet, but probably will be. This is another glen. Same story. Looking good. This is Edward. And Edward is looking very fine too, and lots of bloom all over the place. This is another glen tree, also lots of bloom. So this is a dot tree here. And it's the oldest dot tree that we have in the grove. No flowers on it at this point. Now, I expect it to get flowers, but the interesting thing is that we have, as you might recall from previous videos, what we call dot in a pot, which was a 25-gallon dot tree that outgrew its pot, and so we made a little raised area for it, filled it with soil, and that tree is actually flowering. So just a difference in circumstance. I mean, it's got different exposure in that part of the grove, and also different growing conditions because of the way that we worked around the dot in the pot thing. We took the pot off, put concrete blocks around, and then filled that area with potting soil. So dot in a pot flowering, original dot not flowering yet. This is a sort of an interesting thing. We have two trees here because there was a hurricane years ago, and it looked like this other tree might not make it, so we planted another one right here. These are both Beverly mangoes, so it makes it easy to pick during Beverly season. But the thing that I want to mention here today is that we have very few flowers. We have some on this part of the planting. The newer tree has flowers up top, and the older tree doesn't seem to have any flowers yet. So this is a southern blush tree that has some sugarloaf on it. So I've top worked some areas of the tree to sugarloaf, and I think this whole area, everywhere you see flowers here, is sugarloaf, and the part that hasn't started flowering yet is southern blush. So this has been the star of a few videos. Original tree is Cushman. I top worked it to, well, at least this area, to sugarloaf, and then a strong wind happened, and so we have a split branch that's producing flowers, and then the Cushman part of the tree hasn't started producing flowers yet. Here's Pina Colada. Lots of nice flowers on this. So this is one of our Kent trees. Got flower here and a couple panicles here too. But hopefully it gets going and makes more. So this is Bombay, and Bombay didn't flower last year. We cut it back, and hopefully it will flower this year. So right now I'm not seeing any flowers. And then in sharp contrast, here is Julie mango, and just loaded with flowers. This next one here is Carrie. So, not seeing bloom on Carrie yet, at least this one. And this tree here used to be Florigon, and now it is Edgar. And looks like we have a little bit of bloom on Edgar now. So here is Coggshall, one of our Coggshall trees anyway, and we have bloom, 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 and then what I assume is future bloom on the rest of the tree. Not seeing much else, but I'm confident that we'll have a lot of bloom because Coggshall's a pretty reliable producer. And here's Nam Dok Mai. And we've got a fair amount of bloom so far. A little more over here. Here's Zil Indo-Chinese. Late season fruit, but we've got a lot of bloom on the tree. So hopefully we'll have a good crop. This is Bailey's Marvel. This last season we really didn't get much fruit, so hopefully we'll get fruit this season. A lot of times that happens where you'll have a weak year and then a strong year, but right now, not seeing the flowers. And then here, this tree is Pettigrew. And it is covered with flowers. Pettigrew's a very nice late season fruit. It's green skin, so a lot of people sort of gravitate toward the colorful skin, but very nice flavor. And then this tree and the next one down are both Kent. And they are looking very good in the flower department. Lots of flowers. So this is Jakarta, looking lovely. Lots of nice bloom around. This is Carrie, sharp contrast to the Carrie we recently saw in this part of the grove. This one is just blooming all over the place. It's a lot smaller tree. Maybe it reacted more quickly to the cold weather, not sure. And this is Graham. We didn't have much fruit at all on this tree last year, and this year it's looking very good. lots of bloom anyway, so hopefully it produces lots of fruit. This is a tree that I top work to carry mostly, but then I have one area of Keo Savoy, and right now it doesn't look like anything is flowering. And we have Pimsang Mun here, a little bit of flowers coming on the south side of the tree. It's got flowers here, here, and back in there, and there. I'm pretty sure that the rest of the tree is going to flower. It's a very reliable producer. And this is its little buddy tree. And some flowers here on this Pimsang Mun here, and then just lots of flowers in this area. This is the south side of the tree, so I've been seeing more flowers on the south side of the tree. Or of the trees, I should say, in general. So this is another Coggshall tree. It's right next door to this one here. And I actually wanted to do an experiment with these two trees. So this one was trimmed earlier in the season, and this one was trimmed rather late in the trimming season. This was, I think, the last tree we trimmed. So I wanted to see if they both produced crops at different times. So it's a risk. So it might be that we trimmed it too late and we don't get flowers, but it's looking pretty good for flowers. So I'm hoping that we actually do get flowers and fruit on this one, and we can compare its season to its neighbor next door. Here we have ice cream mango, and it is making a spectacle of itself. Just flowers all over the place. Ice cream mango's favorite for several people, a lot of people actually. It's a really nice mango, green skinned, and it's got like a lot of flowers going, so hopefully we'll get a lot of fruit. And this is a Namdok Mai tree, and we've got flowers going on it. This is another lemon meringue tree, or Popuclé, and I see some flowers up in that top branch over there. Not a whole lot of flowers yet, but usually a pretty good producer, so I'm hoping that pans out. Here is a tree with a ton of flowers. This is Dupuis Saigon, and we'll see how much fruit it makes, but it sure has a lot of flowers. So this tree is looking pretty gorgeous. This is actually a kit tree, and kit can get to be a pretty big tree, but we trimmed this back probably a couple years ago, and it's looking great. We actually have a few flowers emerging here. This is another kit tree, and it's got more flowers here, here, up in there. So kit is one of the final four late season variety, so looks like we'll have a good crop, because I'm sure there's going to be even more flowers emerging from this. Oh, here we have another late season variety. This is Palmer. And there's some flowers here, up there, so it's just getting started on flowering. A little bit here and here too. Okay, we're almost to the end. It's our last north-south row. This tree is Malika, and we've got a lot of nice looking leaves on it. I'm not seeing flowers yet. Nope, lots of mature leaves, so I'm guessing we'll get some flowers. And here we are with another cherry tree. Got some flowers right in this area. Sort of weird that they're coming in this. It's just this was at a good stage of growth when they had cold weather, but not much else in the way of flowers. A few here and there, but not a lot yet. Here is another cherry tree. You can guess that there's a lot of cherry fans out there. We try and have enough fruit for them. But it's a good thing we don't have to count on this level of flowering for a tree. It should flower a lot more. But we do have some here on the south side of the tree. Here and then over on this branch, and some up on top. This is Promchimea, and for most of the tree, I'm not seeing anything, but here again on the south side of the tree, we have some mixed bloom. Nothing else yet. Well, right here we have Beverly. Don't see anything on this Beverly anyway. And then this next tree here is Neelam. We have a very tall Neelam seedling. It seems pretty old, but I think I'll cut it back so that we don't have like this monster tree. That seedling's going to be a while before it flowers. And apparently the grafted Neelam is not flowering yet. Don't see anything. And finally, we have Malika, and yeah, this Malika hasn't started flowering yet either. So this is the last tree in the north-south rows. Now we have a row against the north fence, or not quite against it, but parallel to that. So it's in the northeast grove, so let's go take a look at those trees. So this is our Valkyrie tree. It's looking pretty, but no flowers yet. And whoa, look at this. This happens to be lemon meringue. So this is the star performer in lemon meringue, in the lemon meringue flowering contest. Just flowers all over the place. It's just a seedling tree, hasn't been top worked yet. This used to be Valencia Pride. It's getting converted to orange sherbet, so obviously no bloom on that. This is Jahanger, and we have some bloom on Jahanger. Got some bloom right in this area. That's the south side again. A lot of bloom emerging. Here's a little one coming right out here. Lots of bloom. South side only, it looks like. And then we have Juliet. Looking pretty darn good. There's a little bit on the back side of this tree, but 90% at least is on the south side of the 90% of the bloom. So here's another lemon meringue tree. You can see that it's a very popular variety by how many trees that we grow of it. And we have some bloom here in the middle of the tree, but it's getting a lot of sunlight on that branch. And then over here on the west side of the tree, we have a little bit of bloom too. This is Valencia Pride. Got some bloom here and all sorts of places actually. It's looking good for this tree. A lot of bloom and bloom emerging. This is a Valencia Pride tree that is in the process of being converted to fruit punch. So of course it doesn't have flowers. There's just too much going on. That's rapid growth. You know, each time something starts sprouting out from this area, I mean, it's just got a ton of energy in the roots and the trunk to make things grow very quickly. And in that situation, you don't get flowers. So hopefully next year we'll get flowers and fruit from this tree. Here's another Valencia Pride tree. I'm not seeing flowers on it yet. Here's Paige. Paige is a very nice large mango, and right now not seeing flowers. This is a Glen mango. No flowers yet. And Nam Doc Mai. No flowers yet. So there's just a couple trees to check here. This is a multi-grafted tree, and we have flowers on at least some of the varieties. That one, and over here we have some flowers here. So it's looking pretty good. We've got flowers in this area also. So we've got 3 or 4 varieties on this tree. It's easy to tell the fruit apart, but at this stage, I'm not guessing as far as which variety is which. And here's Ryan. Ryan's a lovely fruit. And I'm seeing some flowers on it, so right up here. Hopefully the whole tree will burst out in flowers and we'll have a nice Ryan season. Too early to tell, but it's looking hopeful anyway. And then of course, Dwarf Hawaiian. Just going crazy with flowers and young fruit. So we have some other things in this area that are not mango flowers, but there's one tree at the very end of this row that is a very nice place to end. And that is right here, this tree, which is just looking gorgeous. I mean, just amazing the amount of flowers here. And this is Kerry mango. So, while you have some, well, actually quite a few varieties in this northeast section of the grove that aren't flowering at all or have very few flowers, this one I think is the clear winner. Just crazy amount of flowers and just gorgeous.